let me holla at you. Holla. Yo, as the description of the title today says, buy hookers with Bitcoin. We are living in the upside down right now, and today I recently watched a new video by Blind Run of the Son of a Tech YouTube channel, and I wanted to discuss that just a little bit. I know my opinion really doesn't matter, but things are really crazy right now. So I'm going to get into a little bit of that, and of course I'm not prepared, so I'm pulling information up as I'm chatting with you guys. However, I did want to share my screen so we can kind of go in why we should be buying hookers with Bitcoin. Screen share. Show the whole screen, man. Come on. Okay, there we go. CoinMarketCap. Bitcoin 61,474 USDT. That is crazy. So it seems like we're probably going to be hitting an all-time high here again, which is going to be pretty phantasmical. I am super excited to see what happens when that happens. Go into this video that I was telling you about. You guys really need to go to the channel, check this out. Last chance to buy Bitcoin. Very clickbaity, which, you know, hey, it's YouTube. It is what it is. Here's the thing that this video goes over essentially. And he talks about, you know, basically the state of what's going on. And like I said, you know, we're in the upside down right now. Things are beyond what the last bull market was kind of predicting and what was going on. And really, anything can happen right now. We're in our uncharted territory when it comes to how Bitcoin is doing its thing, how that affects other tokens. There's some new news with Ethereum and how they are going to be supposedly, you know, they're working towards their goal of being proof of stake, and that happening, you know, within some period of time next year. Now it's slated for June of 2022. Supposedly we'll see, you know, how they progress and things like that, but basically, you know, things are a lot different right now. Could things change tomorrow and everything fall to you know, the face of the earth and, you know, plummet everything, the market goes crazy? Sure. But the likelihood of that happening, I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not trying to tell you to trade or do anything like that. I'm a miner, at-home miner who's now recently expanded to a bigger shop, Coastal Crypto, with the Side Hustle Enterprise. Check that out. Check his channel out too. But back to Son of a Tech and basically what he was going over in this video. A lot of it was, you know, going over what's happening, like why and what.
So don't take any of this as financial advice.
Oh, same thing. Let's see if we can get to some of it.
And all that, right? So let's go ahead and talk about that. First of all, what's going on? What might influence this outside of previous cycles? That means that basically what I'm looking at are things that are going to cause cryptocurrency to be not only mainstream, but to continue to rise, as opposed to going through the normal cycle where it goes down for a couple years into a bear market and then comes back up at the next halving of Bitcoin, which we've talked about in the past. And the thing is this time things are a little bit different. This will be, in theory, the first largest economic crisis that people have gone through since the inception of Bitcoin. Now,
so he's talking about basically inflation. We're borrowing money left and right. Bitcoin is more of a global cryptocurrency, so I can kind of see some of that, as, you know, the United States is one of the most powerful and most lucrative. We do produce the most billionaires. So there are a lot of backing behind what he's saying here, and in the financial arena of Bitcoin, basically doing what Bitcoin was built to do, and provide liquidity. The peer-to-peer transactions. It's showing what the future is really going to be with crypto. And Blind Run here says, he says at one point that it looks like, and things are driving to, cryptocurrency is here to stay.
There is a lot of theories around Bitcoin being developed after the housing market crash in 2008, and that was a big deal, of course, and that was the catalyst for the idea for Bitcoin, or at least in theory, which obviously should interpret into basically being an asset that you would want to hold through another economic crisis or housing market crash, and the likes of that, right? So is it getting bad? Well, if we take a look, at, of course, the U.S. economy, we have a debt ceiling crisis that we are worried about, and this has happened, quite a few times. We've always kind of gotten through it. This time, I wouldn't expect it to be much different. However, it is important to pay attention to. Now, the House has passed a $480 billion increase in the country's borrowing ceiling. However, that is only going to last us to December. So, is not only that, right? But we have the inflation, where I think it's approximate, and double check me in the comments here, but it's 40% of all of the supply of the US dollar has been printed within the past year. Might even be more than that at this point, but that was last I checked, and that's a pretty hefty amount. That means that the value of the dollar is going to go down in its buying power. We talked about this last year, and the idea that the price of Bitcoin isn't going up, it's just that the price of the dollar is going down, and Bitcoin is protecting your buying power. Hence, in theory, it is serving its original purpose, if its original purpose is to protect the everyday Joe from things like inflation and things that we don't control, right? So pretty much like, if you're talking about like treasuries, governments, banks, they can kind of control the flow of money, but whenever they print more money, they basically hurt everybody else. Like now, all of a sudden, your savings isn't worth as much in price in the holiday season. Now, this holiday season is going to be even more interesting due to shortages. Now, if you guys haven't been paying attention to supply chains, etc., there is a lot of signaling of shortages coming for this holiday season. What that means is that there will be less products on the shelves to purchase for, of course, your friends and family. So what would you default to? Well, maybe you default to cryptocurrency. So the pump of cryptocurrency during the holiday season might be exacerbated by said shortages. People don't have things to put all that money into. Maybe they're just getting cash from their family. Maybe they're getting, their quarterly bonus from work.
So basically what he's going into with this is it's the shortages, right? There's a chip shortage. They're with everything. It's not just like GPUs or anything, computer created or anything like that. It's vehicles. I've spoken to people that are in the auto industry, and Chevy, Ford, all of them, they're trying to go to a more electronic driven system within the vehicle to compete with Tesla. Tesla's shown that it works, things like that work, and so the bigger guys are coming on and trying to figure that out too, but they can't. They're waiting on certain things, when it comes to China or even just the chip foundries themselves. Blind Run also goes on to say, the chip shortage itself, the manufacturers on GPUs, they may get caught up, sometime in 2023, and I kind of see that too. And me being a GPU miner, our sole focus used to be just GPUs for the most part. I could see it, right? But the thing is that they're not working fast enough. And even with this environment that we're in and have been in for, over a year, it's still going to be difficult for the foundries that do make these chips to get caught up in its entirety in 2023, and I see that being a huge problem. So what is that going to do? Well, that is going to basically make GPUs even more expensive. I'm already seeing it even on the secondhand market. I have preached in previous videos. I try to handle secondhand and getting graphics cards that we use, and that secondhand sources usually offer up. I usually have better luck there than I do, Craigslist, or I don't use Facebook, so that is what it is. I gotta get rid of those notifications. Anyways, Raven Coin Lite, I'm mining it like crazy, and it's clearly showing it there. It's coming in droves at this point. Either way, the GPUs, I see prices ticking up. We recently just acquired a 3090, and we paid pretty close to retail. I would say just slightly above. It did include taxes, but luckily we met an individual that was just trying to offload it so they could get into a different card that was more cost friendly to them. Can I really go to notification settings? Turn these damn things off. Anyways, so with that being said, don't play any sound. There we go. Yeah, with that being said, it may not be a bad idea now to pay a little bit more than you're accustomed to if you're going to keep mining. Honestly, crypto has shown a trend during the holiday season that it does jump up. So there may be some potential there for you to, liquidate something that you've already mined to acquire some more graphics cards, especially if you're looking to expand. And then at that point, it's like a perfect storm is kind of brewing. If Ethereum can get their crap together and basically get on point and make their algorithm proof of stake, which you know their history if you've been mining or following Ethereum at all, it's just that they don't hit their deadlines. It never happens. But they're queuing up for June of 2022. What will take place when that happens? Is there going to be a liquidation? Because it's not happening now. Still, the manufacturers at the GPU, the chip foundries and things like that, they're not going to be caught up yet. I wouldn't even imagine them being caught up by the end of 2023, just because the demand is just so pent up. So basically, like I said, it's a perfect storm that's brewing. Things are going to be happening. I think that prices are going to be jumping up on graphics cards, similar to like what Blind Run is saying. And maybe it's time to really consider, okay, I have to pay $600 for an RX 580, or I have to pay, $2,600 to $3,000 for a 3090, as long as it's still profitable. And that's the thing. You get into some of these more efficient cards, they're going to be slamming on different algorithms once things change and move over from Ethereum to other things. And I know that I put this video as Bitcoin, and they're big fan, what's going on with them. But all of this connects together. Like if Bitcoin's moving up, Ethereum's moving up. I know every now and then they uncouple each other, but in unison, most of the time they move together. So basically what I'm saying is it's time to maybe re-strategize how you're doing things. And I'm not telling you, how to, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not trying to tell you how to invest or what to do with anything. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing versus, and not even versus, like I'm honestly agreeing with a lot of what Blind Run is saying over at Son of a Tech, because it's true. Like, there are things that are transpiring, whether it be our economy in the United States, whether it be chip manufacturers and the slowness, the lack of urgency for them to get caught up and get, ramp up for customer demand. And then in its entirety with the chips, every single industry needs a chip at this point. Auto manufacturers, like I was saying earlier, GPUs, new tech companies that are coming out, that toaster oven that you just recently bought, PlayStation, Xbox, all of them, they need chips. And it's just, there's not enough supply for what's being demanded out there. And even still, like I was saying, by the end of 2023, is there going to be some type of them catching up? I could see them getting close to being caught up on the chip and starting to supply more, but at that point they're just caught up. They're not even, satisfying the demand in its entirety or even getting ahead of it. So that's just something to think about. If you liked videos like this, especially with the heading, I was on Twitter talking back and forth with Blind Run, kind of just going back, and I was like, I'm going to name my next video Buy Hookers with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's crazy. It's going to hit an all-time high here in the next few days. Better than what it did back in April. So what I would suggest is, if you're going to buy, I'm not even going to suggest that. If you're not in Bitcoin already, it may be too late for you, honestly. But just keep trucking along. Those GPUs, if you're into that, if you're into any other type of mining, ASIC, anything like that, it may be time to just double down at this point, or maybe that bear run that everybody thinks is coming it may not be, at least for another year. Things are different now versus when the last bull run decided to fizzle out. And you know what? I could be completely wrong with everything because I'm not a financial advisor, and I know I'm still fairly green when it comes to the content we're pushing out for crypto. But I've been in the game long enough to see where a market goes up, goes down, goes left, goes up, right, left, right, sideways. So yeah, if you guys liked videos like this, I don't know, I've been all over the place. Please hit the little bell, subscribe to the channel. I'll be pushing out more content like this. Pretty soon I'll have our Raven rig video coming up, so you can see me put that together, answer any questions. If there's something that I need to improve on, or if you guys have any particular questions, shoot them down in the comments below. I always try to make a habit of responding to every single comment that comes through on YouTube. But yeah, beyond that, we also just launched our merch store, brand new shirt. This thing is dope. Thanks to our buddy Joe Audio over at Yeah About That Podcast. You can also check them out, and I'll have the merch store linked below. All right, man. Amigos out.